Today I'll be making a price treatment with a sale price callout. It'll just require a few simple things from your feed and will cover the following skills within the platform. Let's get started. Alright, before I get started on my template, I want to make sure that I have all of the necessary dynamic product information available that I want to work with. In order to check that information out, what I'm going to do is head over to source feed on the left hand side. And then I see that I have my main images under the column image link. And then I also have my sale price and price fields separated out into two individual columns. I see that not all of my products have a sale price associated with it. I still want to advertise the products that are not on sale, but obviously I can't have a strike-through price template created for anything that is not actually on sale. So we'll walk through how to still be able to advertise those full price items in this creative concept. Everything else looks pretty good to go. My images for each product are fairly similar. They each have a little bit of a different background color, but we'll be able to work within these bounds for our template. In order to get started, I'll head back over to designs, and then I'm going to click on start from a blank canvas. This is going to open up the template canvas. And the very first thing that I'll do is just click and drag on that image link column. So that's going to add it into its own layer that now becomes a manipulatable layer on the canvas itself. So I'm just going to squeeze this in a little bit over to the right hand side, squeezing it in a little bit further, maybe about like 2/3 or so of the canvas, but I don't want it to be cropping off on the left and right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my fit for this property from image cover, which fills the image into the bounding box, and I'm switching it over into image contain. Okay, so that's looking kind of small, and the reason that image contain is shrinking it down so much is, let me change the canvas color real quick. Image contain is actually going to shrink it down based on the very edges of the image that gets pulled in. So this is kind of making the whole thing really small. If we were to expand up the bounding box, it'll increase, but we may run into some issues with it later. So what I'll do actually is I'm going to switch over to AI image fit. And what that's going to do is it's analyzing the content of the image layer that we're pulling in. And it's going to see, okay, these are the very edges of the actual shirt itself, with the rest of it simply just being background color. So it's going to try to scale it up as much as possible without cropping off the content of the image itself. This is looking pretty good. So let me just switch this back over to a full white background. And then let's pull in that price. So off the bat, we have this sale price field available and this price field available. I'm just going to, before I add these in, I just want to filter this template down to only be items that are on sale. So I'll head over to the SKU at the top right corner, click on that, and we'll add in a filter. Since we want to look for anything that's only on sale, we'll actually just look for the sale price and say sale price is set. And what that means is that as long as there is a sale value in the sale price column, that product will be pulled in. So we're bringing it down to 18 product rows here. We'll click close. And now if we shuffle through the items, we'll see that every single item is going to pull in the item that's on sale. Awesome. So let's pull in that sale price first. And then let's also just pull in the price so that it's ready to be used. So we have these two prices, we're going to stack them on top of each other, but we don't want to have USD at the end. We'd rather just have that $sign in the front, make this a little bit more marketable. So what we can do is on the layer, head over to the dynamic properties and then just click to open that. Underneath formatting, we're going to switch this over to the $28.99 currency with dollars and cents. Click on done. And then we can just do the same thing for the price field. Awesome. So I want to make sure that the sale price itself is a little bit larger. We'll just bump this up by a little over half, 72, a little under half, sorry, 72. 40 is fine for that. And then I want to make sure that it's on brand. So we're just going to use the brand uploaded font that we added into. And then for price, we'll just do the same thing, but we'll switch this over to book. Cool, this is looking good. Now it's kind of getting a little small based off of the font that we're using. So I'm going to push this up to, we'll say 100. Good. And let's bring this up to 48. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Liking that. I don't really care for the bounding box to be this large. So what I'm going to do is actually turn off text wrapping because we don't really need it. And then I'm going to switch the property over to auto width and auto height. What that does is it makes the bounding box just a little bit easier to work with. Do the same thing for here. Great. Everything is looking good. And now I can add in that strike through. So the easiest way to add the strike through in is to go up to the toolbar and then let's just add in a line layer. We'll zoom in a little bit and now let's drag that over onto the top here. That's good. That's about center. And then we can take this, take the width property, let's bring it down to like 200. Probably go a little bit lower than that, 150. See how 100 looks. 100 is a little short. Let's do 115. That's looking good. And the strike through height is a little too wide. We'll bring this down to 2 or 3. Okay, that's looking good. And I want to make sure that we're using a color for the strike through that's either going to be black or is going to either blend in or maybe like pop out, showing like this is truly striking through. We'll use like a red color for this. I mean, it's a little bit up here. Good. Okay, I'm liking that color. Now I want to apply this same color to the sale price here so it matches up. Let's highlight that. Click on the sale price and then we'll head over to fill and then just paste that in. Great. So now we have our strike through price and the sale price coming up here. Looking good, nice and clean and simple. I like that. Let's add a little bit of additional texture and just some graphics around this. So we want to make sure that we're advertising our brand. So what I'll do is I'll head over to the left side where it says graphics. I already have my logos uploaded as an SVG file, which is really helpful if I need to change the color of the logo at any point. If you only have PNG and JPEG files, that's totally fine. You can simply just upload images instead of upload graphics. I'll just click and drag, bring this down to here, bring it down to the bottom. First thing I want to do is make sure I can see that. So we'll take the fill, bring it down to pure black, and then we'll just scale it up a little bit. Might be a little too big. And yeah, like right there is fine. We'll actually just shorten this layer a little bit so it's not overlapping. Right, so that's starting to look good. And I kind of actually want this logo to be in a bar. So what I'll do is I'll just add in a rectangle. The hotkey is R. Otherwise, you can also head up to the toolbar itself and click on rectangle. And I'll just click and drag and bring that, spread it across the bar at the bottom. That's looking good. First thing is I'll make this black. And then let's just take the layer, click the 6 dots, and drag it underneath the other layer for the logo. And then we'll change this fill over to pure white. So I'm seeing them working with black and white a lot here. So what I'm going to do is just save those hex codes. We'll just click on this little plus button. That'll give me a quick link to black and white. So now I can just easily switch between the two of those moving forward. And then the very last thing I want to do is let's actually just punch up this sale price a little bit bigger. I'm not liking that it's still a little too small. So we'll bring this up to like 130. That's looking good. The sale price itself, or the regular price itself, let's do 72. That's looking great. Just take the line and we'll just bring that up a little bit and then extend it out. Bring it back to 150 or 160. Nice. This is looking good, but we've been working with this one t-shirt this whole time. I want to see what this looks like across other products as well. So I'm just going to start shuffling in some new items. We'll shuffle into the next one. We're seeing, okay, this one has the grayish background. It's not really looking too great on here. It's kind of screwing with the whole vibe of the template itself. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Who knows, but I wanted things to be consistent within this template. So since my backgrounds all have different colors, I want it to be a uniform color of like whatever the canvas is going to be. So what I'll do is I'm going to check on remove background. And what that does is it simply just gets rid of that background. It's going to get rid of the shadow as well, but that's fine. I don't really mind it losing the shadow. That's totally fine. And then let's actually just change this down to nice like little like gray there. Okay, that's looking good. Shuffle through a few other ones. This is looking pretty solid. I'm liking this so far. I don't like how it's pushing too close to the edge here. So let's just take this layer, pull it in a bit. All right, this is starting to look pretty good. I'm getting excited about this one. Let's add in one additional thing. I really want to actually add, well, let's add two additional things. Really want to have something that guides the eye over to this price. So I'm going to check out some of the public elements. One of the things that might work well is, I believe it's under shape. Let's just explore a little bit. Okay, so we have some lines, we have some basic lines, we got some outlines. Not really what I'm looking for. Let's see if we have any things that are like frame based. If we go to layout, here we go, frames. Let's open that up. I like this frame right here. It's nice and clean, nice and simple. Just gonna drag and drop that on here. Now let's rotate it 90 degrees and then move it off to the side. Push it up, punch it up a bit. Okay, this is looking good. And I'm not liking how thick that line is actually, so I'm just gonna delete that. Let me instead just add in my own lines. Do a quick rotation. Zoom in a little bit. Pull it into the side here, get that centered. The smart guides are gonna help me a lot here. Then what I'll do is I'll just copy and paste that. Create a new line, drag it up to the top. And let's switch these to all black. Nice, this is starting to look really good. I'm liking the thickness of that. Since this blends into the black, it doesn't necessarily need to change layer order, but I like to keep my canvases nice and organized in terms of what's layered on top. So I'm just gonna click and drag this down underneath the rectangles, just like that. And then the very last thing I want to do is let's add in a little bit of texture. So I kind of like the idea of having like a little bit of like a rough texture. So I'm going to go to public elements, check out the stock images. To me, like a good rough texture would probably be something along the lines of like paper. So I'll just look up paper texture. Cool, getting a lot of cool different textures and designs. Let's expand some of them. See how that one looks. Okay, that's nice. I like it. Let's see if we can find another one. Something a little bit smoother. This one's pretty cool. And see how that one looks. I don't necessarily like the color splashes on here, but we may be able to still work with this. So I'm just going to take this, I'll delete it. And what I'm going to do is just hide those color splotches. Really zoom this in. I'm liking that nice rough paper texture. Move this off to the side. I'll just bring this down underneath everything, so it's the very first layer. It's a little too dark for what I'm liking, so let's just take this and we'll bring it down to 50% opacity, maybe 30. Yeah, it doesn't need to be too heavy, just enough to give yourself a little bit more of like a roughness behind it rather than just that basic white. This is looking pretty good. I'm liking a lot of this. So let's actually render this out across a few different products just to make sure that the template is looking good. We'll head up to preview over here. And this will take a little bit to render out, but this is where I can see how this template is looking. Do I need to change anything about the template to make it work better for what I want to advertise? So far, so good. Not necessarily liking how much this is bumping over to the edge here. So what I'm going to do instead is I'll head back over to edit template. I'll just take this layer, nudge it over a little bit more. That's looking cleaner. We have this like little extra shadow here. Let's clean that up a little bit. I'll add a little bit of a gradient. So what I'm going to do is I'll go to public elements again, head over to lighting and shading, go to glows, and we have this radial gradient here. just goes straight to pure white. We'll just take this and we'll just expand it up really large, like super large. Awesome. Pull that over to the side here. And then same thing, we'll just keep dragging it down so that it's layered correctly. Doesn't need to be fully white like this. I think we can probably get away with about 80. Let's see how 50% works. Okay, that's looking pretty good. It's kind of masking the hard edge and the halo that's occurring here. Cool. And one of the things that I really want to make sure I do is, as I'm looking at it, is let's rename this design. We'll just keep it something that we can easily find. We'll say sale price strike through. That works. Doesn't necessarily need to follow any specific naming convention, as long as we know what it is, so that it doesn't just say new design on it. Click preview again, see how this looks. Alright, I'm liking how this is looking. I think this is pretty much ready to add to the feed. Maybe make a few other tweaks to it, but I can make those before we publish everything out. Click on add to feed, and click on the feed that we've already have created that's going over into Meta. Click on that and hit continue. Alright, it's going to be added into its own treatment slot here. But remember how I said that we want to make sure that we're also advertising full price items? Right now, this is only going to be advertising on sale items. We want to make sure that we have a version of this that will only be used on full price. But we want to make sure that we have the same creative layout to it, but it's going to exclude that strike through. What we'll do is we'll just simply click on the three dots over here and click on clone. All right. And now we have a second version of this that we can use. So we'll just quickly open that up. And now it says sale price strike through clone. So what we'll just delete clone. We'll call this full price. Good. And then the first thing that we're going to do is actually just delete the strike through, delete the full price, pull this up a little bit, and let's pull these lines down. So this is still only going to the sale price items. We have this sale price layer right here. So what we'll do is we'll head over to dynamic, and then we'll just select the column price instead to switch that over to full price. Hit done. And the very last thing we'll do is just click on the 18 SKUs at the top, and we're going to flip this filter. So instead of sale prices set, we'll do sale prices not set. So that will be anything that is not currently on sale. Click on close, and then I don't want this to be as prominent as the sale items, so we'll bring this back to black and bring it down to like maybe 100. 115. There we go. All right, we'll click on output feed at the top. And let's see how this looks. Cool, so we have our full price items. We also have our sale price items going on. This will work across every single product that we're advertising because we're making sure that we have the templates set across every single product that we want to run. And that's pretty much it. It's ready to publish and get sent over to Meta.